Tonight in Raleigh, we've got game 2 of this series and the final ACC weekend of the regular season. It's 13th ranked NC State and the Stanford Cardinal. A 7-2 win for the Wolfpack last night. That, coupled with a Florida State loss, has vaulted the Wolfpack into first place, just ahead of Georgia Tech, Florida State, and North Carolina. So welcome you here inside the booth. Andrew Sanders with Andrew Simpson, and control your own destiny, right? You've heard it, old sports cliche. That's the situation for NC State with 2 games left in the regular season, a chance to do something they haven't done since 1986.
Yeah, and you know, it's a lot of pressure coming into the weekend. They obviously did a great job last night. After a slow start, they kind of got into it a little bit, showed their power off, and they got the win 7-2.
Well, look, college baseball season is a long season. We have seen plenty of highlights from Wolfpack freshman center fielder Ty Head. He is one of the best defensive outfielders in college baseball.
Yeah, he really is. He shows it off with the arm, making great catches, robbing a couple home runs, and last night he shows this one off.
We've seen some home run robberies. This one was a big one. It was going to be a leadoff double for Timo Becerra in the 7th in a 1-run game. He makes that catch, and then bottom half of the inning gives the Wolfpack some breathing room with a 3-run shot. Speaking of hitting home runs, Jimmy Nadai set the tone for the Cardinal last night with this home run, a 400-footer down the line and left. He's got 4 dingers in his last 3, swinging a hot bat for this Cardinal lineup that can certainly hit as we get a look at the batting order. $14 home runs for Nadai to lead the team. He'll be going up against the NC State Friday night starter all year. They call it Fritton Fridays. Dom Fritton, the ACC leader in both innings pitched and strikeouts, coming in to this weekend. Ready for the game's first pitch. And a fastball zips in high. We get started right on time at 6:02 here this evening. Game 2 underway. Get a look at the numbers on Fritton this year, an ERA sub-4, having a great junior season. Fires in the breaking ball to Haskins. And that breaking ball can be key for him. You say the 3-pitch mix, but that breaking ball, as good as the fastball is, when he has that breaking ball working too, he is special. Yeah,
because he really likes to elevate that fastball. So once he starts climbing that ladder with the fastball, he's able to go to that back foot slider, and that's when, like you said, he's very good.
Called strike. Home plate umpire Art Thigpen. Brandon Henson at first. Rob Hansen at second. Craig Barron at third. Your umpiring crew. And there's the Fritton fastball at 96. Well, it is a warm, humid night here in Raleigh, and Fritton ratchets it up to 96, an easy 96 for the lefty.
I was going to say, he will touch that obviously, but he normally sits 94, 95. He can, bump it up 96, but like I said, once he gets in that feeling and, I think he starts using his legs a lot more, you're going to see this. Back to 96 right there. Like you said, it's warm, starting to feel like summer out here in Raleigh, so he's feeling good right now.
Left on left here to Charlie Bates, who impressed last night. He stays in the 2-hole for Coach Esker. You see Fritton with the black and blue ribbon on his hat. It is National Police Week, and NC State honoring local police. Had the Raleigh Police Chief throw out the first pitch before this game, too.
You talked about controlling your own destiny coming into this weekend. I really think that does start with Fritton tonight, right? It's, you got the help you needed last night by Carolina, so NC State faithful cheering on Carolina. There's another strikeout from Fritton, but now it's that added pressure, right? You have to win, and you know what you have to do, but he has to come in and be able to control the game, and so far he's looking good.
Couple of strikeouts. Again, he entered this weekend as the ACC's leader. He now has 93 on the season in 73 and a third innings. 2 out, nobody on for Tatum Marsh. Then the top hitter for Stanford gets the start in right field tonight. No Brady Reynolds in the lineup. Instead, Ethan Hott moves over to left. Bates, who DH, he's in center. Court McDonald's in as DH. Marsh with a couple of singles. They both came against Anderson Nance, who picked up his first career save last night. 3 2/3 scoreless. Will pop up to second. This is Luke Nixon. He'll make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 first inning with 2 strikeouts for Dom Free. Luke Nixon will lead off when we come back. Bottom of the first here in Raleigh, and the junior right-hander Nick Dugan gets the start for Stanford. This is a pitching staff that has been last in the ACC in terms of ERA, and they've been hampered by injuries. They're also, of course, setting up their pitching for the ACC tournament. We saw now ace Joey Volchko, who was very good, just 2 innings last night in what was a bullpen game. Expecting to get a little more length out of Nick Dugan. He was able to do that 5 innings against Boston College. Probably looking for something in that neighborhood tonight for him if he can pitch well. Yeah, it's a 4-pitch mix, like you see, 90, 92. His best pitch is his changeup, so that will be his out pitch tonight against a good NC State offense. And you see, his last several outings, he's been throwing the ball very well. The NC State lineup still without Chris McHugh. Coach Avent said in post-game media last night, and McHugh dealing with a hand injury. He's been hit in that area several times over the last several weeks, and so he is not in the lineup. Brandon Novy gets another start at first base. I would imagine he kind of knew that a little more ahead of time than he did last night in an emergency start when McHugh was on the original lineup card and then was scratched. And you know, all Novy did was come in and hit his first career home run. So I'm sure he's eager to be back in the lineup tonight. I would say you got to be happy after getting your first career home run. Like I said last night, that's something that you never forget. So being able to jump right back into the lineup tonight, feeling that momentum and hoping to take it over. So he filled in a big way last night, but it is notable, of course, NC State without its top hitter here in game 2. Dugan's first pitch of the game, 92 and a called strike. And I think the McHugh, injury just more precautionary than anything. Obviously, right. ACC championship starting next week, so want to make sure that you have your guy in the lineup. Whenever you get a late scratch, you always worry if maybe something happened in BP or something. And Coach Avent kind of alluded to that as well, where he said, look, we hope we're playing for a long time, so we don't want to risk anything. And yeah, I think precautionary. There's McHugh. So he doesn't have anything, no ice or anything. There's that changeup from Dugan. And especially against the Wolfpack lefties, Nixon, Hogue, and Sosa, Head, and Ossenfort. 5 lefties in this lineup. Yeah, you can see the depth on that thing right there. It's a low 80s pitch too. Sometimes it'll drop down, 78, 79, and just really good depth, good arm action on it. Pairs well with the fastball that he has. Just misses with it again. You've told me before you always felt like the changeup was the hardest pitch for you to hit. Yeah, I mean, I swung and missed at a lot of different pitches, but yeah, for me it was the hardest to recognize because everything was the same. The 4-seam spin of a fastball, that's kind of how it comes off the hand. And they talk about the dot that you see on a slider. There's nothing different than the fastball coming out of the hand until probably 5-10 feet before home plate. He tripled up on that changeup before going back to the fastball, and he gets a routine fly out to center field. Charlie Bates out there in center. Again, we saw him back in the lineup, DHing, but great to see him back out there in the outfield.
Yeah, he was impressive last night. Really, really good at bats.
Speaking of impressive, Josh Hogue, 3 hits in last night's ball game. After Dom Fritton was dominant in the first, NC State a chance to take an early lead as Hogue swings and misses at the changeup. And there was some pressure last night, especially as you got scoreless into the 5th.
And that's I think it's been a very patient offense all season long. They, haven't really gone out and tried to do too much as Hogue goes down swinging, but they were patient, and they, in a bullpen type of night that Stanford was throwing at them, it's hard to get in, kind of any type of momentum. So they did a great job getting runners on in the middle of that game, and then, take advantage of an error by Haskins at third base. So they played overall a pretty good baseball game on Thursday night.
Especially first time through the order. You can see this combo for Dugan going to be pretty tough, and why he's been throwing the ball so well so recently. His 25th career start today, 8th of this season. We showed you the lineup that DeCrisio had the big triple. That was the big hit that put the Pack in front. Ended up being the game-winning hit, 2-run triple. He also just missed a home run to left on a ball that I think most nights in the dope stream, as they call it, probably gets out of here, right? It had the launch angle.
Yep.
There was no wind last night.
There was
not a whole
balls.
lot tonight.
No, there's a couple balls last night that just didn't catch all the barrel for NC State. Missed out on a couple home runs. You got the wind blowing a little bit more tonight, more so than last night.
Dugan fans Hogue and strikes out DeCrisio as well. So both pitchers dealing in the first. Scoreless through 1. A look at the NC State defense here in game 2 of the series, and no change from game 1. But of course, Brandon Novy there at first, getting another start. Ty Head in center field. Well, he's yawning before the start of the inning, but once play starts, he's full of energy. Jimmy Nadai leading off the second. Two guys that are in form right now, Fritton and Nadai, the junior from beautiful Sydney, Australia.
You ever been?
Absolutely. That was one of the stops on my honeymoon.
Was it?
Yeah. Wow. Sydney was awesome. But he has played for the Australian 12U and the 15U team at the World Cup, but moved to Atlanta in 2010. That's when he started playing baseball. He's been playing baseball for a good while at this point. I know 2010 feels like it should be 5 years ago, but 15. Yeah, Sydney Harbor. Saw a show at the Opera House. They have more than just opera there, by the way.
I didn't know that
multiple
either.
theaters there. Yeah. Saw Sweeney Todd there.
I got nothing for you there either. We'll just bypass that.
We'll just talk baseball.
Hope it was fun.
We'll just talk baseball.
I'm sure you had a great time.
You've never seen Sweeney Todd the movie?
No.
Johnny Depp? Anyways.
Nope.
All right, we'll stick to baseball.
Like I said, I hope you had a great time.
The Taronga Zoo, right across Sydney Harbor.
Sounds like a great trip. We got a little bit of a pitcher's duel early in this game so far. It's Fritton's third strikeout of the day. Get another look at it here. Looks like he goes back to that changeup. Just stays down the zone. That's a good pitch. Good spot.
You said 3-pitch mix. It's heavy fastball, right?
It is.
And the breaking ball, when he's landing that, he can be really tough. He does have the splitter.
And that might have been what that was right there, the splitter. Because it seemed a little bit firm out of his hand.
When your fastball is 96, you can throw that 89-mile-an-hour splitter, and that is your changeup.
Yeah, I mean, hey, as long as it has movement on it, right? You're getting some vertical depth on it. That's what you're looking for.
There's Rintaro Sasaki. Did he go? No. Craig Barron, who had the plate last night, says ball 2. Watching Sasaki take batting practice, it's impressive. You know the power's there, but he's not just swinging for the fences.
Right.
It's really, hey, I'm going to go gap to gap. It's very deliberate. Close check swing, close pitch there. 3-0 on Sasaki.
And I think that's how the whole Stanford offense kind of operates. Hitting 300 as a team coming into last night, and then they put together some good at bats last night. They take their bases when they get them. I was impressed with what they did as an offense yesterday. Just let it kind of slip away from the defensive side.
Yeah, and you were impressed with the offense, and credit to Ryan Marone and Anderson Nance. They walked just one batter.
That usually helps.
And that says a lot about their ability to throw strikes, especially when you have to, because Stanford was working counts when they could. Well, 1-out walk here. First base runner for Stanford. Timo Becerra, shortstop. Talked about his entry into the transfer portal as a grad student. He'll have a new home next year, but he has a Stanford degree. And he had one double last night and was robbed a couple more times. Saw the tie head highlight. It was also Becerra who hit it hard up the middle, and Nance made a nice play fielding his position. That probably would have been another hit if not for good defense. It'll go foul. A little side spin and a hard right turn.
It's something that Fritton does a pretty good job of too. Marone did it last night, works the inside corner with that fastball. He's one not to be afraid to come in on a hitter. Like I said, he likes to climb that ladder. He has that heavy fastball that will stay on the same plane right out of his hand. So almost looks like it's rising to a hitter.
Becerra hanging in there. Breaking ball in the air to left, didn't hit it well. Hogue comes sliding in and makes the catch.
Yeah, we saw the ball fall in front of Hogue last night. Gets a good jump out for here. He knows it's in right off the bat. Makes a nice sliding catch.
Hogue makes that look easy.
I was going to say, that's not an easy play.
You see that a lot, I feel like, at this level of baseball. Guys make sliding catches like very smoothly. It looks easy.
I think because it's more of a natural movement than like diving. So I think it's just your head doesn't bobble and your eyes are staying on the ball the whole time. That's my take anyway.
Baseball players are good at sliding.
Exactly.
You know, I remember that was a talking point. Your former teammate here at NC State, Russell Wilson, We talk about him as a scrambling quarterback and how he was so good at sliding. Some quarterbacks, you have to teach them how to slide. For Russell Wilson, he'd played so much baseball, they say he's really good at it.
Natural.
There is, I mean, I wouldn't say sliding's like an art, right? But at the same time, if you get the reps to do it, you're very comfortable at it. Well, his slide is different.
That's a, what would you call that slide?
That is art. Only Trey Turner can slide like that.
You have to be fast to be able to do that.
Good take here from Hott. That's the pitch that it's hard to lay off of. And if you chase that at 96 with that spin rate.
But this is where that splitter that you talked about, or that back foot slider, you're able to go back to because you change the eye level of the hitter. There it is.
The ACC strikeout leader adds another. He's got 4 through 2 innings. Here's how Stanford stacks up defensively, and Charlie Song gets the start behind the plate. We saw Luke Lavin last night. A very good defensive team for Stanford. They did make 1 error last night, and it proved to be costly. It came with 2 outs in the 7th. After that error, NC State scored 4 runs on 2 home runs.
Yeah, it really was. And like you said, they play really good defense, and they have all year, and it really hasn't, coming back to bite them. But unfortunately, last night it did. And like I said, NC State took a couple, opportunities, and they ran away with it there at the end of the game.
Alex Sosa, Braden Fraseman, tie head due up here in the 2nd. Nick Dugan, he mixed 3 pitches well in his first inning, got a pair of strikeouts. .6-0 on the year is Dugan.
Well, with what he showed in the first inning, I can see why.
And I know that win-loss is sometimes a bad stat for pitchers.
Yeah, it is.
But for a Stanford team that's 25 and 24 overall right now, right? They're right around 500. For you to be 6-0, I think that says a lot about his impact this season. And he has been in some key spots for them and had success. Sasaki snares the line drive at first. So Dugan gives up hard contact for the first time, but Sasaki is there defensively. Told you he was really good against Boston College in the start a couple of weekends ago. 5 2/3 on 101 pitches, just the 1 run. His other 2 outings in ACC play, tough, did not record an out against either North Carolina or Wake Forest.
And like I said, you see the stuff he has, low 90s fastball. He's able to move the ball really well. That breaking ball that he moves well, and that really good changeup. So you can see where the stuff is coming along. It's just a matter of if he's in the zone, able to locate that off-speed stuff. 4 strikes.
This ball's going to stay fair, and he got him at first.
What a play.
Charlie Song. That's a tough throw to make.
I was saying it's a tough throw to make, and Sasaki making another nice play at first base because you have to deal with being able to see the ball, 1, and then avoiding contact. Yeah, he goes almost around Fraseman there. And this is the first time that, obviously, with the new bases, that safety base that they have, you can't make the inside play anymore, can you? Because you have to be on the green base as a defender.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, on the white base as a defender. So it takes away the inside lane that that normally you can, you know, that was normally a play that you would use with the ball towards the line.
Are you? I think you're too young to really be old school, but what do you think about the safety base?
I don't know if I really fully understand, you know, why, because every injury that you see at first base, it's caused by a bad throw. So the throw is being brought up the line or, you know, across the base, and so I'm not really sure if I agree with it. I don't know if they have data behind if it's actually working or not. I'm not sure.
Let me first say that I'm probably a little bit more okay with some changes in the game.
Yes.
Like, I'm not love baseball, but I understand
it doesn't have to stay the same.
So
yeah.
it's okay. Yeah, I think like the pitch clock has been fine. Ooh. I would be, to be honest, what we've seen at some levels, if Ty Head just taps his head twice right there and he challenged that, I would be fine. As long as it's quick, I'd be fine with it.
I love that, to be honest with you. I think it worked really well in spring training, too.
Yeah, and he draws a walk on the next pitch. I will say, to me, it seems to make sense. Like, that's the one base that you're running through, and you have to peel and go into foul. So you're asking a player to tag something in fair ground.
Yep.
But then be in foul ground. So, makes sense.
Because, I mean, the basis of it was injury, right?
Basis. Nice.
But
yeah, player safety.
Yeah, so I just don't know if a throw has brought you up the line and, you know, across the line. But guess what? You're still going to run into the runner. So I don't know how much it's going to help in that scenario.
Nothing is 100%, right? Like, unfortunately, injuries are still part of the game. But if it's player safety, then
they're going to do it.
You can still, obviously, we see players get hurt sometimes too, just trying to beat out a throw.
Right.
And taking a long stride and landing awkwardly. DH tonight, Matt Ossenfort. Really no surprise, right? The sophomore from Sioux Falls had a hit and a walk last night. And he has started to get more and more comfortable in this lineup, particularly against a right-handed starter. He's kind of taken on that role as he continues to stack quality ABs.
And it's been open, right? Whoever kind of wants it has to put a good game together, and he got that chance, and he's kind of run with it over the last 2-3 weeks. Like you say, he's put together good at-bats, hit the ball hard.
Well, he's got a good number, too, right? That's 17. That's Sam Highfield's number. That's Philip Rivers' number here at NC State. That's a good number.
Wolfpack legends.
We told you last night that these two teams at the bottom of the ACC in terms of stealing bases, but we saw Head's athleticism defensively in center field. He has stolen 5 bags, and Dugan is paying him a lot of attention. I would imagine you can't eliminate changeup here if you're Ossenfort. It's such a good pitch, but are you sitting fastball when you see 3 straight throwovers? Like, they seem to be pretty worried about Ty Head taking off here.
They really are. And, you know, I think you do sit fastball, especially in a 1-1 count. They don't want to go back to 2-1, fall behind in the count, trying to get ahead to a 1-2.
Ossenfort into the gap in right center, and Ty Head's going to run for a while. Here comes the throw to the plate, not in time. He scores standing up, and Ossenfort with a 2-out double to give NC State an early lead.
Yeah, once again, not wanting to fall behind. He stays in the middle of the plate, maybe a little bit too worried about Ty Head at first base. And Ossenfort stays hot with another good at-bat for the double in the gap. like I said, you don't forget about your first one, especially when it goes that far. Last night said 423. I'm still going to kindly disagree with that number. I think that ball went a little bit further.
Ask our camera operator out there in center field. How far did it fly past your head? 110 off the bat. So a 2-out walk. And Austin Fort with a big hit here in game 2. Dugan got a new pitch comp system brought out to him. After that pitch to Austin Fort. This NC State team, again, controlling their own destiny in the ACC, looking to host as well. And I have a hard time, honestly, thinking that the committee would not have a top 4 seed host, as good as this league is, but especially if you're the ACC regular season crown holders, then that's for sure. It's got to be a host.
Yeah, we've seen crazier things.
Who cares about RPI?
About the committee, but yes, you would think that a regular season win of the ACC would kind of solidify that.
Right. Look, I know that the schedule is unbalanced. Unfortunately, you can't play everybody.
Right. That's not their fault.
But if you win the regular season,
it's a great job by Novi. Obviously, hits a fastball out last night. You have to know as a young hitter, you're going to get a heavy dose of off speed. He does a great job of just kind of taking them. Good, still balanced.
Rolls it over to the left side. It's an NC State team that, again, even without McHugh, right? You're getting contributions from Austin Ford or Novi. Matt Hefner's on deck. He has hit safely in 4 straight. They're getting contributions from everyone.
And that's, historically, this is where NC State starts to get a little bit hotter, and then they kind of go into postseason play, playing their best baseball. And I think if you're NC State, you have to feel like you are right now.
See Dugan up over 35 pitches. He retired the first 5 batters he faced, having to labor here, walking head, giving up a double to Austin Ford, and another payoff pitch coming to Novi. Rolls it to the right side. They were shifted. Nadai does a nice job sliding left, and he makes the play to end the inning. But Matt Austin Ford with a 2-out hit to score. Ty Head from first to make it 1-0 Wolfpack. ACC tournament starts on Tuesday, May 20th in Durham. Last night, there were 6 teams that had a chance at the #1 seed, but Georgia Tech able to hang on a 1-run game in Durham against Duke, and that eliminates the Blue Devils from #1 seed contention. But NC State, again, they're in the driver's seat. There are some scenarios we can go over maybe later on in the broadcast. They could drop a game here to Stanford, and as long as they got some help, they could still wind up the #1 seed. But they have the easiest path, which is win their 2 games. They don't need any help, just have to win those 2. Everybody else obviously needs Stanford to win at least 1 game. And most of the math is a sweep for those teams. We have some massive series this weekend. First pitch swinging, Charlie Saum. Welcome to the series. He gets the start here in game 2, and the first pitch he sees, he doubles down the third base line. First hit for Stanford, and he sets the table looking for an answer back here in the 3rd.
Yeah, it's just a slider, sits over the middle of the plate. Saum does a great job getting out in front of that thing, sneak it down the left field line. Get Stanford in business here in the 3rd.
Yeah, Lavin got the start last night. It is the 41st start here for Psalm. He's been the primary catcher this season, was on the Buster Posey mid-season watch list. Leadoff double, 9-hole hitter, Court McDonald. Saw McDonald come in last night replacing Brady Reynolds. He lined out hard to right field. This is what good offenses do. Right after NC State scored, a little 2-out rally. Stanford looking for an immediate answer. Brady Reynolds has been struggling, so an opportunity for McDonald making his 19th start of the season. Missed quite a bit of time, 21 games to injury. Don't let that 215 batting average fool you as he hits it foul, stays alive. Hit 325 last year for Stanford.
Yeah, it's tough when you fall to injury and you're out for a while. You don't see live pitching. It's just tough to come back from, and you can see him putting some good at-bats together. A good one right here, 1-2 count.
In the air to center, head moving back. Glides over and makes the catch. Psalm will tag, and he will reach third. So McDonald with a productive out on a deep drive to center. And good base running by the catcher, right? You don't have to be the fastest guy to be a good base runner.
No, you really don't. And it's, once you see Head's kind of back turn and he has to go back for that ball, that's when you know he's going to have to make an athletic play to get himself back around and momentum going to third base. So great job tagging up there, getting himself into a better scoring position at third base.
Popped him up. And a big second out. It takes Fritton just one pitch to put away Haskins. And when you're talking about the ACC's leader in strikeouts, usually to get out of a man on third, less than 2-out situation, you're thinking that would be the biggest threat. Maybe Haskins thinking that too. I don't want to get to a 2-strike count, but you'll take the foul pop.
Yeah, and I think it's the right move by Haskins, attacking early, right?
Okay.
You know what you want to do, and it's just a matter of if you get your pitch, he's probably going up looking fastball. It doesn't matter where it is, in, middle, or out. You got your pitch, you want to go attack it. Unfortunately, just doesn't get the job done.
So it's up to the freshman, Charlie Bates. Struck out looking back in the first. The defensive line for the freshman to pull.
See Hebner playing even with the bag over there at third base, just trying to protect against the bunt as well. The lone man over there on the left side of the field.
He does pull the ball, and there's Novi. And a perfectly played down the first base line. A leadoff double for Charlie Psalm, but he is stranded on third. Later on in the broadcast, we'll talk to veteran right-hander Matt Willitson. Looking forward to that. It is senior day tomorrow for NC State. They will celebrate 4 seniors, including Matt Willitson. You heard NC State athletic trainer Scott Ensel say there, he's one of the best pitchers in NC State history, what he's meant to this program. A fly ball, right field line, and a good catch made by Tatum Marsh. Just in foul ground. It puts away Matt Hefner in not your home ballpark. Feeling things out. There's a lot of foul ground at Stanford and Sunken Diamond, but this is not an easy play. You got to navigate the wall here.
I was gonna say, it kind of jets out right where he was, so really nice play over there. Like I said, feeling that position, knowing where you're at.
So, one time through the order. Nixon and then Hogue to follow. Dugan retired the first 5 he saw. Both teams with just the one hit. It was a big one. Ossenford barreled the ball into the right center field gap to score tie ahead all the way from first. The difference in this game to this point. Nixon's been seeing it really well, looking to get going in this series. 0 for 5 last night. He was robbed by Nati in a big spot. Game with the bases loaded in the 6th. NC State would have that big inning just one inning later in the 7th. A 4-pitch walk. That was something that was really impressive, and Coach Avon talked about this in his postgame last night, is as many pitchers as Stanford used, you never know if somebody's going to be in rhythm, and you try to get that big inning, and maybe somebody walks a couple of batters. For the most part, Cardinal threw a ton of strikes.
They really did, and I thought all their guys looked pretty good last night. And it's the kind of the spot that has hurt them all season long with the the worst ERA in the ACC. So coming into this weekend, what we talked about, you have 0 pressure on you. You're not trying to, obviously you're trying to win. That's first in case, but you're not trying to make the tournament, or what's ahead of you. You're going into Durham next weekend, and Coach is trying to find guys that can throw strikes. And last night, I thought they did a great job. I'm sure not having that pressure has helped, but yeah, I thought they looked pretty good last night.
They have a path to the NCAA tournament, and it does not involve this weekend.
Nothing.
They have to win in Durham in the
right.
ACC tournament.
Right.
And by the way, as great as I think the single elimination is going to be in creating drama and crowning a champion, I love that. My favorite adjustment of the tournament is nobody's left out. I think every team should get a shot.
I mean, in baseball, you just never know. You run into one pitcher one day and you get beat. It doesn't matter if it's the worst team in the league or the best team in the league. Baseball does not really care about that. So, you get a guy just pumping strikes and getting outs. It's going to be a tough day for anyone.
Hogan to right at Marsh. 2 gone. Just a chance. That's all I'm asking for.
That's all you want.
And it's single elimination, so you don't have to worry about, for those teams that know, like NC State probably will be hosting, but is certainly in the NCAA tournament regardless of what happens in Durham.
Right.
If it's double elimination, now you're worried, well, are you using too many pitchers, and you don't want to mess up any pitching before the NCAA tournament. So I know that the risk is that you go there and you maybe just play one game, but I think it's better than the pool play, and it's better than double elimination.
It's a balk right there.
A balk from Dugan. That has been an issue for him this year. That is his 3rd balk of the year, which is now tied for the most in the ACC. I don't know if that was a clear and obvious balk.
Was it because he didn't throw it? What was that balk?
You don't have to throw it to a base. One time, right? You get one where you can just spin and look.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was.
But yeah, a walk and a balk. And now NC State has Nixon in scoring position. Dugan trying to shake that off. He struck out DeCrisio on a really good breaking ball in their first matchup. Buries it there. DeCrisio takes it. him up. It'll be playable for Psalm. And that'll end the inning. Walk in a balk, no damage in the third. 1-0 our score here in Raleigh. A look around the ACC. Clemson has already secured the series over Pitt. How about a combined no-hitter last night? Aiden Canuck and company with a combined no-no against Pitt. These other scores, I think, pretty favorable for NC State, particularly that one in Durham. Remember, Georgia Tech won last night? And Duke up 5-1. It's still early. Of course, Virginia still has a chance to be the 1 seed. They need to sweep Virginia Tech. So NC State, again, controls its own destiny. But for those of you viewers that are Wolfpack fans, just to keep you updated, right? The team's not necessarily focused on what's going on in Durham or what's going on in Blacksburg. But those would be the results that you would want, is for Duke and Virginia Tech to win today. That would eliminate both Virginia and Georgia Tech, I believe, from the number 1 seed race.
And like we talked about, you know, if you're NC State, you're focused on tonight, and then once tonight's over, you're focused on tomorrow, and you know, you just hope you get 2 W's and get that first W.
Routine ground ball. Tatum Marsh grounds out to Luke Nixon for the first out here in inning number 4. And the quarterfinals, those first 2 days at Durham are going to be jam-packed. On Tuesday, Wednesday, it is 4 games.
4 games, yeah.
First one's at 9 a.m. Last one is scheduled to start at 9 p.m. Pitch clock helps. Speed of the game much better.
Let me tell you,
we hope we get good weather.
A 9 a.m. wake-up call. BP probably at 7.
Well, remember, Stanford flew out here on Wednesday.
And there's
Cal is still out in Berkeley.
Right. With Boston College.
But you hope for Stanford, again, they have to win that tournament. They're hoping that they adjust, because that's, you think 9 a.m., that's early baseball. That's 6 a.m. West Coast time.
Yeah, that's one. It's crazy that they scheduled Cal to be on the West Coast this weekend before the ACC championships start here in Durham, which is on the East Coast. But we talked about last night, 5 different trips into the Eastern time zone for Stanford this year.
It's tough. It's tough on a team. A lot of these guys will be flying east again to go play at Cape Cod over the summer. DeCrisio. At 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Look at the season snapshot, and there, that's what you're talking about. 5 road trips to teams in the Eastern time zone. That's the craziest.
In 162 games.
The same as the Giants?
Whew. And you don't get used to it.
Because, and obviously in a 162 game season, that travel is so taxing that when you're in the big leagues, you schedule, and this is the same at all levels, right? NBA and NHL, you schedule those trips. You don't go out and back. You go out and stay out sometimes for a week, maybe even up to 2.
And I think they're traveling a little bit differently too. If I had to guess.
Yeah.
I don't think there's chartered flights and whatnot for the Stanford Cardinal. But yeah, you definitely don't get used to it. You might get used to a routine to help you deal with it. It is not easy.
You can get used to chartered flights, though.
You can definitely get used to chartered flights. Now, that's a life you can live. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Missed a little up on Sasaki. Fenton walked him in their first meeting. And he walks him again. So patience from Sasaki and a 2-out walk. We saw what that could do. NC State scored back in the second inning. Gives Becerra a chance with 2 outs here in a 1-run game and got his best swing off. But we've seen the splitter just a little bit. We've seen the breaking ball has been good, but he's still going to pitch off that fastball.
Yeah, he always does, and that's like kind of his comfort zone that he goes back to. Rightfully so. It's a very good one. Like I said, he has the stuff that sometimes not overpowering, but like I said, it's that flat, heavy fastball that stays on plane that for a hitter is just hard to catch up to. See if he goes to that back foot slider here, goes back to the fastball.
Becerra smokes it right at Hogue, who slams on the brakes and makes the catch to end the inning. 4 scoreless for Dom Fritton. We'll talk to Matt Willitson when we come back. Sosa swings at the first pitch. It's a right to Nadai, who makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out for Nick Dugan. His next pitch will be his 50th. Andrew, what have you seen from him that's made him effective so far?
Yeah, I think it's just the off-speed pitches that he's able to throw in any type of count. He's able to throw it for strikes. So, you know, the fastball's been effective, but he goes to that off-speed as a out pitch, and NC State just been off balance for, you know, these 4 innings so far.
Misses to Braden Fraisman. Remember, he hit that ball just trickling down the first base line. Saw made a great play, the catcher, to get him at first. Fraisman in the air to left center. Easily tracked down. Got a hitter's count. And Dugan continues to be effective. Say he's got a rubber arm. He famously, a couple of years ago, got a save and a win in the same day in the regional. A win over Cal State Fullerton, a save against Texas A&M. And he's kind of putting together a start just like he did a couple of weekends ago against Boston College.
Yeah, he really is. And like I said, it's been effective. It's the off-speed pitches that's keeping this NC State team off balance, and go with what your strength is, right?
Got a conference called here for NC State. 2 quick outs. Again, it was Ty Head who extended the second inning with a 2-out walk. In the hold is short. Becerra sets his feet, and Sasaki has played great defensively in this game. We're through 4. 1-0 lead for NC State. Through 4. This one's been a pitcher's duel. This is kind of how last night's game went. It's been a well-pitched series for the first time, for the most part. Andrew Sanders here with Andrew Simpson. All right, I'm told we have Matt Willetson join us now. Matt, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Gotcha. Perfect. Loud and clear. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate your time.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
So, senior day tomorrow. What are the emotions like for you?
Pretty just excited. I was able to go do senior day last year, and that was quite the experience. So excited to go out there and do it again.
And NC State's so happy to have you back this year. A cool video that we showed. I think the full thing is going to air later on, but just all the work that you put in and the rehab process, and to put in all that work and to come back with these guys on this team, what has it meant to you?
It's just meant a lot to be out here and just to wear the Wolfpack jersey one more year. I mean, it's been everything I could ask for and some more. So.
Hey, Matt, it's Andrew Simpson. Just talking a little bit about, this year's team. Obviously, you guys struggled early on a little bit, and then, now you're starting to catch a little bit of fire. What's the locker room been like? Obviously, a chance to do something special this weekend. What's kind of been the message throughout the locker room?
Yeah, we've been up. So, good play. The boy, I mean, they've just had a high energy level. We're coming out here trying to sweep Stanford. We know that if we do that, we've got a good chance at being at top of the ACC. So just trying to keep our heads level and stay right there.
What have you seen from Dom Fritton today?
That kid is electric. I don't even know how to explain it. Like he's improved so much on like his fastball, his changeup, and his breaking ball since he's been here. Like this year, he's landing his curveball whenever he wants it. He's throwing his changeup wherever he wants it, and he's getting the fastball up to 96. It's just been so fun to watch.
How much do you guys talk about, what you guys see from a pitching staff? Obviously, Marone threw well last night. How much of conversation is going throughout the pitching staff about, maybe a particular offense or what you're seeing out of each other?
To be honest, I mean, we don't really talk about that type of stuff, but everybody kind of just keeps their self, picking here and there, picking on each other, but I don't know.
Hey, you mentioned, what you guys are trying to do, and you know what's on the line. You're a guy that has been on some really good teams here at NC State. What would winning the ACC regular season or hosting a regional, going back to Omaha, what would that mean to you?
Yeah, it'd mean a lot. It'd be big. Hosting a regional obviously would be big. We did that last year, and we're looking to do it again this year for sure.
Hey, I was seeing some ACC basketball, men's basketball earlier this fall. You were a good high school basketball player, and you played with some big time players as well. I saw some highlights of you in high school. What's the scout on you as a basketball player? And do you still hoop occasionally?
On the occasion. I'd say I could shoot the three ball a little bit. I was kind of like that three wing. Could just I'd always be placed on the opposing team's best offensive player and just try and follow him around everywhere, guard him everywhere he goes, and then just kind of do my role on offense because we had a 7-footer center, we had a dead-eye shooter from three, and another power forward that was just a big boy, hard to get to.
Hey, he played with Caden Shedrick, right?
Yeah.
He was at Virginia and then Texas. And
yeah.
So 3-and-D, could still go get a bucket if you need to? I
believe I could. I definitely believe I could.
Hey, I played basketball with your high school coach a couple of times throughout the week, and I heard a story, and maybe you could elaborate on it, but I heard a story of you shaking a 0-2 count in a perfect game in the 7th inning. Do you care to elaborate on that story a little bit?
Was it an 0-2 count?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, I remember the catcher calling a fastball there. My breaking ball was working that day, so I shook him off and threw a breaking ball, and I hit the dude in the foot, and there goes the perfect game. So still walked out of there with a no-hitter.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Well, you're known for your changeup too. Was your changeup that good in high school also, or is that something you developed here at NC State?
It was all right. It definitely wasn't my best pitch in high school. I definitely developed it more so my freshman and sophomore year here with more innings. but I was more so just a fastball, slider, throw a changeup on the occasion type of guy.
But your changeup at times has maybe been like the best changeup in the ACC for the young players watching out there. Like, what is the key to throwing a good changeup?
So with my changeup, actually metrically, it's not the best. I just try to replicate it as my fastball as much as I can. And for me, it's just all about the arm speed, making everything look like a fastball. And if you can do that, then I think it can be a bit deceiving. So
Yeah, it's a great call because, like we were talking about earlier today, it's just, you know, you see fastball arm speed, and then all of a sudden that thing's dropping off 5 feet in front of the plate. It's just, as a hitter, I always say it's the hardest pitch to identify. And it's just like you said, if you got that arm speed working, it's one of the best pitches in baseball.
yeah, I would definitely agree.
Hey, Matt, you can't see this right now, but we're putting up a graphic of some of the things that you've done and accomplished in your career as Hefner makes a great play.
Yeah!
We'll finish
I think
on
we're
that.
gonna end on that one
A
right
web
there.
gem.
How about that? How about Matty Hefner?
Appreciate it, Matt.
Sir, thank you guys.
Oh, you just missed it to end the top of the fifth. This is a really nice play by NC State third baseman Matt Hefner in foul ground. And we got the Matt Willitson reaction live. You got to be fired up. We were talking yesterday about how long that throw is. It's a little longer when you're foul ground.
Yeah, it's a little longer when all your momentum's going towards the third base dugout too. Good strong throw by Hefner. Still in a little bit of a pitcher's duel here. Only 3 hits on the night.
Two good offensive teams. Fritton and Dugan have been very good. Fritton through the fifth. Dugan trying to match him here. He has already, I think, given Stanford exactly what they need to be able to work into the fifth at minimum. And again, just the 1 run. Came with 2 outs. It didn't look like NC State had much going on that inning until Ford hit his 2-out double.
And that's the thing. It's, you know, on paper, this pitching staff has struggled all season long, but, you know, these last 2 games, I think they've looked pretty good. And, you know, we talked about the pressure being off of them. They don't have to do too much.
Yeah.
And that might be just case in point of why you're seeing more strikes. You're seeing them in the zone. They've thrown well so far.
And yes, they have had injuries. For what it's worth, coming into the year, they thought the pitching would be the strength of this team.
Right.
Now, when you're without a couple weekend starters, now you're having to replace like 12 or so innings a weekend, and you need guys to step up. But the talent is there. So if, you know, 1 or 2 arms step up, can you get a little deeper into the ACC tournament and see if those bats get hot?
And that's the thing, you know, a couple years back when NC State went to the College World Series, what was it, 5 pitchers deep?
5 pitchers.
I mean, if you just catch a couple guys just getting hot.
Stanford's pitching, by Stanford standards, was a little thin that year as well, too. Like, they had top-of-the-line guys as Ford sprays it in the left. Another good AB for the DH, hard contact, but right at Ethan Hott for out number 1. It does go to show you, though, and people, you want to have pitching depth.
Yes.
Injuries happen. It's great to have more options, but
exactly right.
if you do have some guys that can go out there and give you 5 or 6 strong, and you have some bullpen arms that can shut it down, it really doesn't take that many arms.
No, it doesn't. And that's exactly right. It's, like you said, it's nice to have options. Sometimes maybe too many options might be a bad thing because you're trying to work guys in and, you know, get guys innings, and sometimes you just are unable to do that. But when you know you have 5 or 6 guys that will just go out and, you know, pound the zone every night, give you a chance to win.
Novi crushes it down the left field line. That's going to one-hop the wall. Hott might have a play at second. He overthrows the base, and Novi has a double here with 1 out.
Well, we talked about it. You get your chance, you get your opportunity. You got to be able to go in and do some damage. He gets a hanging breaking ball. Foot down, good level swing. Strides in to second base with a double. It's a good-looking swing by Novi.
First collegiate homer last night. His first collegiate double here. It's just his 6th hit of the year. Again, he hadn't had a ton of opportunities. DH has been a number of different players, and McHugh had started every game before last night officially. Technically, Novi started game 3 against Miami. That game never reached the 5th inning. Yeah, so those stats don't count. So he's been behind McHugh, but you could see why they were so excited about him coming into the year and his potential. Don't let him get hot.
No, I mean, once again, talk about options, right? Coach Haven's going to have a new option coming off the dish.
More hard contacts. It's Matt Hefner. He makes it 2-0. Have yourself a 5th inning. Matt Hefner, the web gem in the top half, and an RBI double here in the home half.
Again, it's a 4-seam, or actually a 2-seam fastball. Runs right into the barrel of Hefner. Sneaks it in down the line. He stayed up 2-0. But that's the thing, if you're Coach Haven, Coach Hart, you have to be happy that you have another option coming off the bench in Novi. Like you said, you have that DH spot if you want to go a right-left matchup with Ossenfort swinging it well too.
And again, the bottom 3 in the order did really well last night.
Yeah.
Novi had 2 hits and a walk, including the first career home run. Ossenfort had a hit and a walk. Hefner had a hit and a walk and a sac fly. You know, his batting average had dropped to right around 200. And then he's kind of stepped on the gas here. He's a guy that has had stretches of his career where he has been much more than just a great defensive glove at third base. When he is in form, he can hit, and you see that showcased in the last handful of games.
Yeah, you're going to go through those, ups and downs throughout a season, throughout a career. So for him to be able to come back and just once again play good defense, he stays in the lineup, gets his at bats. Good double right there for NC State.
Earlier this year, from March 5th to April 4th, so a month, Hefner hit .351 during that stretch. It's a long season. There's ups, there's downs. Do you follow the, do you buy into the hot, cold, hot theory? You heard this?
I have not heard
like,
this.
Basically, you can't be hot the whole season.
Yep.
You want to start hot. And if you cool off, that's okay. You got to time it up. Everybody playing your best baseball at the best time.
Yeah.
You know, and any sport, you want to be playing your best in the postseason. So it's hot, cold, hot.
Okay, yeah, no, I get it. But like you said, you're not going to stay hot the whole time, and you're going to get out of your slump at some point, right? You kind of have to. If you're a decent hitter, you're going to come out of it. So that theory definitely makes sense.
After giving up back-to-back doubles, Dugan a little careful here, 3rd time through against Nixon. So on the mound visit, there's nobody in that Stanford bullpen.
No, last night we saw a lot of movement, a lot of guys going in and out. Not tonight.
Doing sprints down the left field line and out there. But yeah, this is his inning. souvenir. That concourse, pretty full.
A nice summer night here at the Doak.
What NC State fans hope is an historic weekend. Nixon works a walk. And again, it is as simple as win 2 games. There are plenty of scenarios where they could go 1-1 in these last 2 and still win the league. There's no scenario where they go 0-2 though. They need at least 1 more win to get 1 more win. At least. That would also get them to 18 wins in the league, which I would think is probably good enough to host 1 more win. And there you see the activity going down to the bullpen. This is the second visit of the inning, yes?
To my knowledge, yes.
Right? There was nobody in that bullpen.
I mean, there's still no one throwing.
No one throwing.
Yeah, this is a change.
Okay, apologies. There was no pitching coach visit, just the infield conference.
That's on us. I was on the same page with you.
Everybody makes errors from time to time. Can't field 1,000. Anyways, you can understand my confusion.
Why isn't anyone warming up?
And as many of you watching know, but for maybe the few that do not, you get 1 visit in an inning.
Free visit.
Free visit. If you visit the same pitcher in that inning, by rule, you have to make a pitching change. That's what happens sometimes when you look down, you're looking in your notes because you see there's a visit. Good change up, strike 2. Do you see everybody huddled up?
Yeah, I could have bet the coach was out there, but it's all right. We got lost in the game a little bit. We're back.
That changeup for Dugan, it can be a really good pitch. It was interesting talking to Matt Willitson because his changeup is so good. And hear him say, you know, metrically, my changeup isn't the best.
Isn't the best, yeah.
And that just goes to show you, the metrics sometimes matter a lot, but if you can match your arm speed and mimic that fastball, then it doesn't matter if your changeup has the most depth.
Right.
Or if your breaking ball has the highest spin rate.
Yeah, and it's all about change of speed. You know, obviously it's still going to have some vertical depth to it, so you get some depth on that pitch, and it's all about deception.
Tunneling. This ball has English on it, and Hogue is safe at first.
That's a great job by Hogue getting down the line. Kind of capped it over to Haskins over there at third base. Not an easy play, but Hogue running well. So again, there's that changeup right off the cap. Yeah, I mean, he gets rid of it pretty quick, but Hogue just beats the throw.
That's a really tough break for Stanford because initially that ball's hit going towards third, but because it's got the off the cap spin,
I was thinking it was going to be almost a double play ball.
You're going to get a force out at third at minimum. And then I thought Haskins did a good job just slamming on the brakes to even field that, but they end up getting no out, so an infield hit. That is a direct result, of course, of that changeup.
Right.
You're way out front.
Yeah, you're way out in front. That thing is just spinning, though. That's a hard ball as an infielder, just to make sure you get in your glove, and it's still spinning once it hits your glove, so you got to get a good feel for it on the throw. It's a good take by DeCrisio.
Talking to Matt Willitson, overcoming injury. Josh Hogue, broken leg last year, and we saw him score from first. That allowed DeCrisio to get the triple.
No,
that was the game-winning run.
You know, we said it last night. It's incredible that he's able to come back and have the season he's having after that injury last year.
Oh, that was not a strike.
What did we say before? Tip the cap and see.
You know, Charlie Som's a good catcher, right? And you try to get a pitch for your starter. If you can get that down and away pitch.
That's what you want as a pitcher.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And he went.
Yeah, we're going to get a look at that one here. Just a good slider. It starts on the outer, probably half of the plate.
Yeah, he did go. Hey, who knows? Maybe Dugan gets him again, but that would have been a 3-0 count. That's a tough AB for DeCrisio, and obviously it comes up in a huge spot in an RBI opportunity. So Dugan, after a tough break on the infield single, trying to get out of this inning.
Yeah, I think Sosa would see a heavy dose of changeups here. I don't think he would challenge fastball unless he has to. See if Sosa can just stay back and see it deep into the zone. Even right here, I think it's going to be a 2-0 changeup. Seems to have a little bit more feel for that pitch than he does a fastball right now.
Sosa deep to left field. Hot, runs into the fence and hangs on. Great catch to end the fifth. Ethan Hott. Remember, he's been in center field quite a bit this year. He was in center field last night. So Stanford playing with two center fielders, if you will, here in game two. And this is a big time play.
Yeah, it definitely saves probably a base clearing double at least. See, just luckily avoiding that wall out there in left field, making a nice play.
If you're Alex Sosa, you've lined out a couple of times tonight. That's a good approach, though, right? Power opposite way. So NC State adds to its lead. 3 hits in the inning. They get 1 run. 3 left aboard. 68 pitches for Fritton as he begins the top of the 6th. Bates and Marsh and Nati. Fly ball into center. And Head chases it down into the track. He has fun out there.
He really does.
Just jump into the wall.
I was gonna say, if you watch him during BP too, he's working his butt off. I mean, he tracks this down pretty easily. A little Superman into the wall.
He was playing, by the way, in and had him shaded a little bit to left center. He had to go a long way to track that down.
Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask for help. Yeah, ask for help.
He's rocking a turtleneck in 85-degree weather too.
Will you help me out? Pass him.
It's got to be tough.
Yeah.
Good luck charm, I guess.
It is. It's not just that it's warm tonight. It's very humid.
It is. We're getting close to summer weather here in North Carolina.
It's a base hit over the head of Novi. Marsh might be thinking 3 out of the box. Frazeman picks it up out of the corner and will hold him to 2. Tatum Marsh, his first hit here in game 2, is a 1-out double.
It's a really nice piece of hitting. It's a ball up in the zone on the outer half. Yeah, that's a good piece. Lets it get deep. See that? Eyes stay on the barrel. Stanford once again with runner in scoring position.
So now Jimmy Nadai, the tying run. Be very careful with him. 0 for 2 so far tonight. He had 4 homers in his last 3 games. NC State left the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th. Stanford trying to capitalize on Marsh's double. Hefner towards the visiting dugout, runs out of room. And it's maybe 5 rows or so up.
Not a lot of hands going for that ball over there in the stands. I don't blame him.
Into left center field, and it's hit well. Nadai ties the game. His home run streak continues.
So you're going to go back to that play that Hot made in left field. Saves a bunch of runs. Stanford with the 2-run home run to tie this ball game up. And that tie stays hot.
And nothing even Ty Head defensively could do about that one. A game-tying home run. Both Marsh and Nadai doing damage against that fastball. Now the breaking ball, Sasaki pops it up and out of play.
We talked about Fritton likes to go back to that fastball a lot, right? So he has control of it all night long. Just misses right there. It's in that tie. It's not something he's going to stray away from, though. Gets another one right there, Sasaki.
Tip. It is the 5th strikeout tonight for Fritton, his first since the 2nd inning.
Yeah, it's a great bounce back by Fritton. Heavy dose of fastballs on the inner half. That's exactly his MO. Like I say, he's not going to stray away from that pitch. He trusts it. Gets Sasaki right there for his 5th K of the game.
Again, up and down this order, there are no breaks for a pitcher. And Stanford, as well as Fritton pitched through the first 5. They have gotten Dugan with a really nice start to just keep him within striking distance. And finally able to get the big swing against one of the ACC's best to tie it up at 2 here in the 6th.
That's the thing, you know, Dugan is, yeah, he gave up 2 runs, 1 in the 2nd, then 1 in the 5th last inning, but like you said, he's done a great job of just keeping his offense in this game, knowing that they can kind of erupt for a couple runs at any given point.
Now Becerra smokes it into left. Hogue was playing deep and will hold him to a loud single. You can see why he's getting a lot of interest in the transfer portal, I'm sure.
Yeah, rightfully so. You know, it's another fastball in the inner half. Does a great job. Turn on that pitch.
Good hitter. He's proven it at a high level. And we saw NC State make a pretty quick move to the bullpen last night. It was in the 6th inning. Ryan Marone lifted. He went 5 1/3. There is Andrew Schaffner in the bullpen. Remember, he started this inning at 68 pitches, so he's had to labor a little bit and has given up some hard contact. Marcia double, Nadi a homer, Becerra a 2-out single, and NC State will make the call to the bullpen. One of the best closers in the ACC, Andrew Schaffner, will enter with 2 outs here in the 6th. Dom Fritton 5 2/3. He strikes out 5. Just the 5 hits allowed, but the big swing by Jimmy Nadi has tied this game. He was good tonight.
Yeah, he was. You know, 5 Ks like you see right there, and I think he just, you know, like we talked about, it is hot out, and maybe just lost a little bit of juice on the fastball, and that's what Nadi hit out of the ballpark. But really good outing. Said only 4 hits, 5 hits, 2 runs. You're going to take that out of your Friday night guy any day of the week.
Working deep into the 6th, and again, in just 85 pitches. I think in a game in April 15th.
Sign me up.
They look for him to, you know, finish out that inning.
That's
but
right.
In a tie game now, and with a base runner on, they're going to go to Andrew Schaffner, and this is a team with some good options out of the bullpen. And Schaffner has had an excellent junior season. 17th appearance on the year. You see the ERA and the strikeout to walk ratio. And he's a guy that can be a multiple inning reliever. He starts with a big sweeping slider. Coming off a save in Chapel Hill, his 7th of the season. All 7 of those saves have come since March 21st. Fields his own position and puts away Ethan Hott. Schaffner through the 6th. We are tied as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Middle of the order due up for the Wolfpack. Well, D1 Baseball in their latest projections entering the weekend. 3 hosts, including NC State. 10 teams in total, with Virginia being one of the last 4 in. Notre Dame still red hot. They're on the outside of the bubble, but they can maybe try to play their way in.
They got a win last night, didn't they?
Great catch to end the game. Thrilling win over Miami. Now, you look at the resume for NC State, and the RPI, the strength of schedule, they're all solid. RPI is not the end-all be-all, but usually hosts have an RPI that is a little better than 25.
Right.
With that being said, 7 wins against RPI top 25 teams. But most impressively, This is one of the best leagues in the country, if not the best. Sent 4 teams to Omaha a year ago. Fraseman into left. Diving attempt from Hott, but he can't get there. A leadoff double here in the 6th.
I was going to say, was Hott going to do it again out there in left field? Just outside of the stretch of Hott. Get a look at it here. It's a breaking ball. Middle. Fraseman does a great job staying back on that pitch. Here's a good look at it. Just underneath the glove. She stayed in business with a leadoff double.
ACC, by the way, has sent at least 1 team to Omaha, 4 last year. 1 team to Omaha in each of the last 18 years.
It's incredible.
So you've got the top end talent, but it's also the depth. Again, 10 teams projected. They have had at least 6 make the NCAA tournament. 20 straight years, at least 6. And then you add a program like Stanford into
exactly.
He had Cal too. Can we get baseball at SMU? Can we get baseball at Syracuse? I want to call a game in the Dome.
In the Dome? Now that would be something special right there.
Ty Head and the big hit last night to give NC State some cushion. Now, Dugan has pitched really well. Again, kind of like he did a couple of weeks ago at Boston College. He's pitched admirably. But if you're NC State in this inning, you see the pitch count creeping up.
Yeah, you got to go to the bullpen, right? Like, that's the mentality. As a hitter, you have to see that it's a little bit gas in between innings. The pitching, the warm-up pitches are a little bit different, going to a lot of off-speed. So you have to start to feel that as a hitter. And it goes a lot of, so this is a tough at bat for Head right here, just as a, as a young hitter. Everything's going to be slow and soft. He's trying to get you, obviously, to, probably just pop something off. But you need to have a team at bat and get something to the right side to get Fraseman over to third base.
Into left, this will send Hott back. Fraseman will look to tag. Hey, he gets the job done.
Yeah, it's a really good heads-up base running play. You've seen that throw by Hott to second base. He overthrew one earlier in the game. They will appeal to second base here, but I thought he left on time.
Let's see.
Out! Called him out.
Wow. Hey, Coach Hart at third, you see immediately signaling to challenge. It is, you see the appeal pretty often. It's rare you actually see someone called out.
I was going to say,
and he was safe by a lot. Rob Hansen with the call at second. And we'll see. This is obviously a huge call, a second out of the inning.
Get a good look at it here. He's on the base. Oh, let's see. Yeah,
that's really close. He's still on the base there. He's still on the base there. I mean, you can't be in a better position than Mr. Hansen is, right?
That's right.
In your picture. He's right there.
I mean, what a tough play, tough call to make.
He's still on the base, isn't he? I'm kind of shocked that was called out.
It does look like he is still on the base, but I think as you see the body start to move, you may think that the foot's off already. This is a massive call right here.
You're either talking about a man on third, 1 out, and a good RBI chance for the go-ahead run for Austin Ford to drive him in, or it's out number 2.
But you can see that heel up. It's the toes that's on the back corner.
The toes still on the back.
Yeah, I would think so.
Let's see if we can't get like a screenshot, if you will. All right, a little picture-in-picture. When the ball's in the glove right there, he's still on the bag.
Yeah, I think he's still on the bag.
And the reason I sound surprised is because usually, I think it's usually pretty obvious that a guy left early when you see that.
Right.
So that's why I'm surprised that it looked like, we've seen it a few times now, that he's still on the bag.
Well, we'll get a call right
Let's
here.
see. Was it enough to overturn? Safe. Yeah. That's why you can review it. To your point, though, I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. You can start to see the body moving.
Right.
And that is, by the way, talking about being in good position, though, it's a little different than a tag play,
Yeah,
right?
That's not easy.
It's not a bang-bang play at first where you're listening to the sound. It's like you're trying to keep your eyes in two different spots, on the glove of Hott and the foot of Fraseman at the same time. I imagine that's a tough call to make.
And he's also, what would you call that, 60 yards away? Like
Yeah.
that's not easy to do.
Long ways away.
Nonetheless, heads up base running by Fraseman. Big spot here for Ossenfort.
Infield in. And shifted.
That's something you don't see very often.
No. I mean, Haskins is all by himself over at third, and obviously he's got to be in the vicinity for a bunt or just to keep Fraseman from taking off himself. Remember, Ossenfort drove in the first run.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good take. It's a 1-1 changeup that's starting middle of the plate. So, a good starting spot from a pitcher's perspective, and that thing just diving off probably, 2 to 3 balls off the plate.
It's up for ball 3.
I'm not going to be shocked either if he goes back to a changeup here. You're trying to get a rollover out in front of something. 3-1 changeup. You're almost willing to give up that base too. You have Novi on deck, puts the double play in play. I'm still sitting back if I'm Ossenfort trying to get a changeup. Yeah.
Like you
That's
said,
a good take.
if you're Dugan, you're okay. That's probably the pitch you wanted to throw.
Exactly. It's just a really good take.
Not necessarily a miss. And Ossenfort draws a walk. And now Novi.
Talking about a big spot for the freshman.
Well, you would think his confidence would be pretty high, right? A homer last night. He just doubled in his last AB, but yeah. Hey, you want to be in the lineup?
Yeah,
you
here
want
you
to play
go.
in the postseason?
Yeah. Get you a late RBI. That'll keep you in the game.
This was last night. Came right after the tie-head home run. And our camera operator in center field had a duck. Oh, you're saying Dugan has pitched so well. NC State's goal in this inning to get him out of the game. They have done that. Chased him after 93 pitches. He will exit with the game tied, but responsible for runners on the corners. Torin O'Haron, the right-hander, into pitch when we return. Another look at the ACC standings. This is entering tonight. 17-9. This is not entering tonight. This is current, updated. That includes Clemson, who is now 17-12. But NC State can finish at best 19-9. That would be good enough to win the league. Georgia Tech, who at last check was trailing to Duke. Could finish 20-10, but it's by win percentage. If you don't play the same number of games, don't have to go to the tiebreaker for it. It's just by win percentage. 19-9, better win percentage than 20-10.
Duke is up 11-4
in the
fifth inning. Bottom 5.
So still a lot of baseball left, but
yeah.
a pretty big lead there. Coach Avon said, last night you can't play baseball just looking down the road. This team has got to stay focused on what they can control. And the nice thing is they got the help that they needed last night.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not sitting around waiting for it. But once again, you're able to control your own game, and you know what you have to do, and they're doing their part right now.
Andrew Schaffner got a little comebacker to end the 6th. He strikes out Charlie Song looking here to start the 7th. It starts maybe outer half, and boy, by the time it finishes running, it's right down the middle.
Yeah, a little backdoor two-seamer. That's a tough pitch.
Nine-hole hitter Court McDonald's upstairs at 97 for ball 1. Wonder what Schaffner thinks of Joey Volchko's fish that he got last night. We showed you. Schaffner,
he's a big fisherman,
He's
right?
an avid fisherman, yeah.
I still want to know if we bought the fishing pole. How do we get a fishing pole all the way from Cali?
I don't know. But he got the fish.
Guess that's all that matters.
DeCrisio had McDonald play to pull up the middle. Makes the play for out number 2. This has been a series with some postseason feel to it. Last night was like that. There's some dramatic moments, and tonight you get a 2-0 lead. Nadi hits a game-tying home run. Looked like about a tailor-made double play ball. Stanford doesn't get 2. Popped up bunt. Foul.
Yeah, this is the type of weekend you want going into the ACC championships next week. Obviously, with that postseason feel, every out's important, every at-bat's important. Kind of heightens your focus.
Haskins serves it into shallow left. Saw Hogue make a sliding catch earlier, but nothing he could do with that. It will extend the inning and give Bates a chance. What we've seen so far this weekend, there's still plenty of game left, right? Last night, Stanford makes one error, and the inning unraveled, and all the game pressure kind of went off.
Right.
And tonight, no error on that play. But that's a play that you don't get charged with an error, but that's a play you have to make.
Yeah, you're trying to, once again, I think it just kind of developed too long, and you want to create that momentum, and you want to go and get that ball and be able to, get a good feed to your second baseman. And then obviously the errant throw was, it kind of took Nadi off the base a little bit, so he was off balance, and that's why he kind of just held on to it. There's a nice play.
DeCrisio in the shift. Not your routine 6-3. Back with Andrew Simpson. I'm Andrew Sanders. It's the 7th inning stretch. Another good ball game here in Raleigh. Last night it was Stanford that led 2-0. Then NC State scored 7 unanswered to take game 1. NC State had a 2-0 lead. Jimmy Nadi in your picture right there. Hit a game-tying home run, his 5th homer in 4 games. Came off Dom Britton, who was very good for NC State. Wolfpack got a run back after a leadoff double in the 6th by Braden Fraseman. Fielder's choice, Brandon Novy drives him in. So bottom of the 7th, 1-run game, must-win game for NC State. It would cement the Wolfpack as a top 4 seed. Give them possibly a regional hosting spot at 18 ACC wins, but more importantly, it would give them a chance to win the league tomorrow.
And that's all you have to do. Give yourself a chance. Playing a good game right now, 3-2.
How about the play from DeCrisio to end the inning?
Yeah, playing with that shift, and that's where that, you know, the shift is interesting too, because that second baseman's playing deep to where you avoid the lip. But on that play, DeCrisio came very close to getting a lip ball that sometimes, you know, hops over the glove, or it may do whatever it does when it hits a lip. But great job staying down, making a good throw on the run.
Across your momentum, kind of. You're throwing across your body.
It's not easy.
Especially because that is, I'm all for the shift. I understand why they do it. Makes sense. Cool. It does put you in position sometimes. How many ground balls does DeCrisio take
on that side of the field
from there? And how many times do you really practice that? You just have to be an athlete and make a play, and that's what he did.
This is going to be a tough one. That Sky. Yeah, nice job by Haskins over at third base. This is the point of the night where it's a little tough to see on those fly balls, but does a nice job there.
This is the time of night where you say at third base, don't hit me one way.
Yeah, make sure everyone's pointing and yelling at you. Get a glove change here. Psalm, the catcher. It's a good looking catcher's mitt.
Puts it to use, catching the heat from O'Haron. Hogue 3 hits last night, an infield single in his last trip. That came against a Dugan changeup. Dugan 5 1/3. He finishes with 3 earned runs. Kept the Wolfpack off balance for the most part. Yeah, really the big swing in this game, I think, was that bases loaded 1 out situation. And he was able to hold the Wolfpack to no runs there.
Yeah, NC State with a couple of chances. You know, you had Hott making a nice diving play out there in left field against Sosa. Just unable to get that big hit like they did last night. 7th inning was the inning where they capitalized on that mistake.
Ware mixes in a changeup. Hogue not interested in that.
Insurance run here in this inning would be huge for NC State with Marsh coming up, Natai coming up, and Sasaki.
On the ground at Natai. 2 gone. Yeah, that's about as good of a 3-hitter combo as anybody's got in this league.
Especially right now. Everyone's seen the ball pretty well.
DeCrisio, tough guy to strike out. He's gone down on strikes twice tonight against Dugan, so I'd be happy to see another arm out there. It's an easy 94. Torin O'Hara. That playing him up the middle. Strong throw in a 1-2-3 7th inning from Torin O'Hara. Middle of the order due up for the Cardinal. Next. One-run game, top of the 8th. Jimmy Nadai will bat second in this inning. That was his home run last night. Then earlier today against Fritton. Not many hitters hotter in the country right now.
5 home runs in the last 4 games. Some video game numbers right there.
Tatum Marsh looking to set the table. He doubled in the 6th. Well, he'll get aboard as that slider just slipped out of the hands of Schaffner.
Yeah, definitely not how you want to start this 8th inning. Once again, now you have to be really careful with Nadai being up. 15 home runs, that leads the team.
Engagement warning here for Schaffner. That's the slider that he was trying to throw Marsh. Interesting. You lose the grip on one, go right back to it.
Yeah.
You're going to need that pitch at some point.
I was just going to say, you're going to need to go back and get a feel for it pretty quick.
That hit him. Back-to-back hit batters. The Schaffner had hit just 4 batters all year in over 31 innings coming into tonight. We talked about the arm side run. And now Stanford, maybe not just thinking about tying this game. They're looking for the big inning.
You know, we talked about last night, you want to play spoiler, right? You want to be able to, have a say in what goes on here. And they're set up pretty good right here in the 8th inning. 2 pitches gets away from Schaffner. They've been quick to go to the bullpen the last 2 days. Not much movement out there right now.
So pitching coach Clint Chrysler out to look to settle Schaffner down. Just saw at the very end there Jacob Duden go to the mound in the bullpen, and he's starting to throw. Two on, nobody out for Rintaro Sasaki here in a 1-run game in the 8th. Strike one. It is not often that NC State, they really have 3 headlining bullpen arms.
Yes.
Nance, you saw him get the final 11 outs last night. Schaffner and Duden. Usually they only have to throw one. It tells you the importance of this game. He gets Sasaki to chase the changeup, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, there's that nasty changeup that we talked about. That thing has some good depth on it. Starting probably middle in almost right there, diving away from Sasaki.
Ground ball, Novi gets a tough hop. He makes the play. Sasaki with a productive at bat. He does his job, and now the go-ahead run in scoring position. Marsh is at third. Nadi is at second. That's not an easy play for the first baseman.
No, he made the smart play too, just getting the out there. Kind of had some top spin on it, so he got caught in like a long hop situation, but it's a heads up play, just getting the out.
Now Becerra. Infield in at the corners.
Yeah, I think you might see maybe with like a 2-out or 2-strike situation, you see all infield come in, get something weak contact.
Now Becerra was not bunting there. He is top 5 in the league. He has 9 sack bunts on the year. As well as he's swinging it though.
That's just a really good take right there too. It's a pitch that is starting probably belt high. But I think if Schaffner can get that pitch starting more on the plate and diving off of it, you have a better chance at a swing and miss or even a ground ball at that, for that matter.
3-0.
He's taking all the way right there. Again, we talked about it before. I mean, a walk here is not the worst case scenario for NC State. Have that free base open.
There's a strike, and I misspoke earlier. I said he had hit 4 batters. He'd only hit 2 batters all season. So he has done that here in this inning.
Same inning. We talked about, you know, the humidity tonight, a little bit more sweat on your hands, trying to get a feel for it.
3-1 to the Stanford shortstop. Ground ball foul.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the take and then the swing. It's starting on the plate a lot more, so probably middle of the plate, diving away instead of starting on the outer half and not even being a strike at any point on its way to home plate. So this is a big 3-2 pitch. He's trying to just drive him up with the heat. Oh, what a battle right there.
That was a nasty pitch. And
oh, man.
What an incredible job.
You get a side view of that swing right there. I bet you that ball was almost in Sosa's mitt. Great job fouling that pitch off to live another one.
Head calling for it. No, he doesn't see it. It's Fraisman to make the catch. And Stanford ties it on a sac fly from Becerra.
Yeah, we talked about this guy, you know, causing some trouble. You can see Head just not really seeing it off the bat. He throws his hands up right away. It looks like Fraisman has it the whole time, just unable to get behind it and make a good throw there.
Yeah, initially I thought he was kind of excitedly waving his hands like, hey, I'm calling for this. We showed you the highlight at the beginning of the show of his arm and outfield assist to home. But no, it quickly became evident. He just didn't see it in the sky. You were just talking about that last inning. Nadi did not tag. 2 outs for Hotz. So you tie the game, and you still have the same situation where you got the go-ahead run in scoring position. Oh, 95 up and in.
That's one you want to break from. That's one where you're thankful for your head coach being a smart man and coming to kind of clear your head after seeing 95 at your face.
Ethan Hott has been living up to his last name in the month of May. 407, his batting average in this month. He's having a great year, but even better here in May. He's got a chance to give the Cardinal the lead for the first time tonight here in the 8th. Strike 2.
As a hitter, too, it's an uncomfortable feeling. You see two guys get hit in the inning. You see 95 come at you. You see a breaking ball kind of back up on him a couple different times throughout the inning. So uncomfortable at bat here for Hott, but he's just trying to get his job done in a 1-2 count. It's a great take. Really good take.
Ground ball to short. DeCrisio dives to keep it in the infield, and he does more than just save a run. He ends the inning. What a play! Talk about the struggles of this pitching staff, but O'Haron has not struggled a lot. Neither has Keenan. Nobody has appeared in more games than the right-hander Aiden Keenan. The sophomore, 5 saves on the year. He's typically a 2 times a weekend guy. He's done that 8 times this year. Usually you'll see him game 1, you'll see him game 3. Obviously they're setting up their pitching, but here he is in a tie game in the 8th. Stanford with their best reliever to face Alex Sosa to start.
See the arms that Stanford can throw out at you. You saw a bullpen night last night. They threw well. Tonight you're seeing their arms, their guys that they think can win them some baseball games.
Little rollover. Up to 96 for Keenan for the first out.
We talked about pressure, right? It's all the pressure tonight is on NC State. They know what they have to do to kind of get themselves in an opportunity tomorrow to win that ACC title, and Stanford not making it easy on them tonight.
Strike 1 to Fraser. And that's the thing. It's great to control your own destiny. Despite Stanford's struggles, keep in mind, they've won 9 ACC games.
Yeah. You're exactly right.
We're still talking about Stanford here, right? Down year last year. The 3 before that ended in Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the history in this program is outstanding. It's always good teams, and you could see it. What they showed last night, they're showing right now. It's a good offensive team. They can score runs.
And we talked yesterday a bit about, you know, that win against Grand Canyon on senior day. They were down 8-0.
Yeah. It shows the character of the guys in the dugout. A little bit of an older crew. I'll tell you, if you're Fraseman now, this has got to be a big green light, 3-1. You catch something middle in, you cannot be late on it. You have to be ready to go for 95. He was. That's a great 3-1 swing.
Show a slider. Haskins takes his time to throws high. Sasaki off the bag. It was an E5 last night that opened the door for NC State offensively to add to what was a very slim lead at the time. Here in a tie game, this could be a big one.
Yeah, another topspin ball, and he kind of struggles to get his feet around to kind of, once again, create that momentum towards first base. Sasaki goes up and gets it, not able to come down in time. Great job by Fraseman getting down first base line.
So a runner aboard, Ty Head, who did the damage following the E5 last night. I should mention, for all of the attention that Sasaki's bat has gotten, and deservedly so.
Really good.
Yeah, he's good defensively.
Yeah, he blocked that ball up last night. He took one off the shoulder.
And just could not do anything with that throw from Haskins.
And that's one where, once again, you have to know your runner. So, like, he almost went out and got it and went up. If you just go straight up off the base, you may be able to keep a toe on, potentially, instead of reaching out and trying to get it.
Into right. Marsh for out number 2. Struck pretty well by Ty Head. Hit right out.
Yeah, he really did. You've seen a heavy dose of fastballs here. Once again, you got Austin Fort coming up. You got Novi, big-time fastball hitters.
A double, a line out, and a walk tonight. It's just 5 hits for NC State so far.
They've hit the ball hard, right? You had Hot making a nice play out there in left field. Head line drive out right there.
That was the inning that things could have kind of blown up.
Yeah.
And Hot makes that play, keeps you in the game, gives you a chance. They scratch out a run against Schaffner, who has 7 saves in his last 8 appearances to tie this game. Runner goes. Got him at second. Saw him put it on a line, and the inning is over. Tie game, 9th inning. Here in game 2, NC State trying to win this series. Stanford looking to spoil the Wolfpack's regular season title hopes. New pitcher on the mound for NC State. 33 pitches for Andrew Schaffner. Gave up a run in the 8th, and so they will go to right-hander Jacob Duden. Giving the Cardinal another look, you'll see 8-9-1 due up. So Stanford seeing a who's who of NC State's bullpen.
Yeah, they really are. And, you know, you can go to Duden right now. You keep Schaffner in. You kind of decide how you want to play this game. But, you know, in a tie ball game, you want to keep the lead or keep it right here and then give your offense a shot in the 9th.
Schaffner with 7 saves on the year. Duden's got 5 himself. Obviously, it's not a save opportunity, but that's kind of the area they've been in. Nance, we told you, has won 8 games. He got his first career save last night, but they've had so many. That trio doing all their bullpen work. And you see Fritton and Schaffner and Duden. Charlie Somm being pinch hit for Brandon Larson, hitting in this spot. So Somm throws out the would-be base stealer Fraseman. Get Larson in this spot.
Yeah, it's interesting. Somm 2 for 3 on the night, right?
And he is greeted by a Jacob Duden slider that is
it's never
tough.
You sit on the bench for 9 innings, you come in, you have to see that. Good luck. Just a really good slider. You can see a tight spin on it. Just misses the bat of Larson.
Again, McDonald, their top hitter last year, battled injury this year. 0 for 3 tonight. Two and a third from Schaffner, just the one hit. But the 2 hit batters to lead off the 8th, looming large. '98 from Duden.
Must be nice to just show it, right?
It's a heavy dose of slider, but that 98 is there. He has
is.
top 99 before.
Nice to have in the back pocket with a nasty slider. It's a good take. 2-1.
And he draws a walk. Again, he's sitting in the 9-hole and he's had his struggles, battling injuries this year. But that is a veteran AB. That's a good 9-hole hitter.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you take a 2-1 slider, a 3-1 slider, both pretty good pitches, middle of the plate. That's a big league take. Get an offensive timeout. Talk this one over.
So you got a base runner, you got Haskins coming up, top of the order.
It's always interesting, too, you don't have McDonald in the offensive huddle.
I think usually, yeah, you bring that base runner over.
I'd like to know what's going on.
Haskins, one of the top hitters in the ACC. Picked up a hit in the 7th. One of Stanford's 6 tonight. Did he offer? No. And the NC State dugout.
Yeah, right away.
Some questions for Brandon Henson.
I thought he went for it.
See, you be the judge. Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
you off. He kind of stabbed at it and pulled it back.
That's a tough one to call.
Not bunting here. What a play by Hefner. Can they turn 2? You bet. This NC State infield defense has been phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, Hefner with the great pick here to turn the double play. NC State coming up in the 9th.
Welcome you back to Raleigh. We thought we were through the top half of the 9th, but anything after the 7th inning is finished, replay can be done by the crew, and that's what they've done here. I would imagine they're mostly looking at Novi trying to keep his foot on the first base bag. Looked like a pretty clear out at second.
This is going to be your best look at it.
Calling the field is a fantastic double play. Now,
right there, I would believe he's on the corner of the bag. Great play by Novi, too.
and you got a guy that's filling in for Chris McHugh. So fairly inexperienced at first base. And so NC State has to come back out on the field. Duke throwing some warm-up pitches. Here come the umpires with the call. He did keep his foot on the bag. It is a double play. Now we will take another break and be back with the bottom of the ninth. Bottom of the order due up for NC State. A tie game in the bottom of the ninth. Well, the bottom of the order has done pretty well in this series. Stanford and Novi and Hefner looking to scratch out a run and secure the series for NC State. Up against Aiden Keenan, the Stanford closer. Rally towels are out. Luke Lavin has taken over at catcher. Remember, they pinch hit Brandon Larson for Charlie Song. Well, Stanford and Novi are two guys with maybe the most pop on the team. Stanford was ready for the first pitch fastball, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that's what you got to do right there. You saw him throw a couple pitches to Stanford before Fraisman got thrown out in the last inning. So you're ready to go. You've seen it. You know what's coming. Heavy dose of fastballs from this Stanford bullpen so far tonight.
Stanford into center. Leaping catch made by Charlie Bates. Oh, you can't hit it much better than that.
You really can't. That ball is squared up, ready to go. Once again, he gets that fastball. It's up in his zone.
Bates is saying, yeah, that ball was smoke.
A little bit of a two-seamer, but probably doesn't catch all barrel. But that thing was hit hard out there. Bates making a nice play. And now the young freshman coming up in the big spot.
Big play by Bates to start this ninth inning. Novi hit his first career home run last night.
Yeah, everything's been away, right? It's two fastballs on the outer half, and you can see Novi kind of reaching a little bit. You want to see him get that thing a little bit deeper. Unless Keenan tries to sneak one on in the inner half.
Lays off the slider. Stanford has had some struggles this year holding on to ninth inning leads. Trying to protect in a tie game here on the road. Popped him up. Haskins and Lavin giving it a look, and it lands in the Stanford dugout.
So Novi's going to go back and watch this video, and he's going to want that one back. That is a pitch that stayed up in the zone. He just was out in front a tad too early. And that's where you just kind of reset, refocus your mind, and go back to what he's done early in the bat. It was two fastballs away. He tried to go slider away. Hasn't come in with anything yet.
Called strike three, lands the slider for out number two.
Yeah, it's just a really good pitch. It's a good sequence, right? You're out in front of a slider the pitch before, probably thinking Novi is thinking fastball. Just goes slider once again to catch him off guard for strikeout. That's a big out here in the ninth.
Gave up hard contact to Stanford, got some defensive help from Bates. Strikes out Novi. Now Hefner, who's been swinging it well. He has a double tonight. And if you're wondering, might not have quite the power of Stanford Novi. He does have 3 homers on the year. Keenan has only allowed 3 homers on the year. 2 out, nobody on. Are you thinking
Yes.
Try to get an A swing off.
Oh, 100%. You catch
Adjust
a
the two
fastball,
strikes.
right? Yeah. And you have to look at what he did in that last at bat. Obviously, a totally different batter in Novi, but you look at Austin Ford too. He challenged with fastball early in the count. He's been fastball first pitch to all 4 batters that he has faced. So you want to come back and challenge that. It's a good spot on the outer half. Good take by Hebner. You can take that chance, right? If you see 3 batters, you get 3 fastballs first pitch, go ahead and take the chance.
Should end the inning. That eye called off by Marsh, and he makes the catch. We'll go to extras. NC State trying to stay in first place in the ACC standings. Stanford looking for win number 10 of the year, looking to play spoiler. These standings are updated. That includes the score in Durham, the final in 7. Duke, big time over Georgia Tech by run rule to even up that series. So the Yellow Jackets take a loss. North Carolina up pretty big on Florida State, looking to secure that series. Again, UVA still in the mix, but if that lead holds, then UVA would be eliminated from number 1 seed contention. NC State has the simplest path, win tonight and tomorrow, but not in, I don't want to say the easiest path, because there's no easy path to winning the ACC regular season. They have got their hands full here in extra innings against Stanford, and here comes the meat of their order.
Yeah, this is the part of the order that you didn't want to see again, right? You got them out in the 8th. You didn't want them to come back up in here in the 10th, but you got your probably best arm coming out of the bullpen on the mound. Charlie Bates 0 for 4 tonight with a strikeout.
Followed by Marsh and Nadai.
Talk about postseason feel early in this game. About extra innings when you have to win to keep your chances alive.
Bates, a rare expansion of the zone for strike 2. So Duke and Georgia Tech eliminating each other from number 1 consideration. Again, if the Hokies hang on to that lead, Virginia would be out. And if that score in Tallahassee holds, Florida State would be out.
Like Carolina's playing some good baseball right now.
It would be between NC State and North Carolina.
Just how the fans drew it up.
If all the scores hold. Again, NC State, if they win, they're number 1. Full count. 99 from Duden, tying a personal best. Carolina would need a sweep in Tallahassee. They would need NC State to drop at least 1 game here in this series. Big pitch here to Bates. Base hit, laced into left. A freshman who missed so much time, 24 games, puts together that AB in the 10th to lead things off.
Yeah, we talked about him, you know, last night, put together some good at-bats. Tonight, struggling, but what a great at-bat to get yourself on base. Once again, Marsh coming up big. 1 hit on the night so far. Had the hit by pitch as well.
Bunts it foul. You're hitting freshmen 2, 3, and 5. For all the talent Stanford brought back this season.
That says a lot.
An injection of
that says a lot.
Freshman talent.
Get some youth into the lineup.
He squares again.
That's a really good take with the bunt too. He's on that pitch. You have to start, even when you're just showing bunt, you have to start at the top of the zone, then work your way down. That's a great take. Thought that was a pretty good slider.
Good bunt. Duden's only play is to first. Bates with good speed in scoring position for Jimmy Nadai.
Talk about power versus power. Get a good matchup right here. 4 home runs in his last, or 5 home runs in his last 4 games.
On the ground, and it kicks off to Crescio. Bates is going to round third. Stanford with their first lead tonight. It comes in the 10th.
You go back to Bates, having a great at-bat, getting on a good team at-bat by Marsh with the sac bunt. Ball's hit hard by Natsai. DeCrescio goes down, has a pretty good, and it just jumps up at the last minute. Kind of catches that short hop on him. Stanford coming up big here in the 10th.
And you see what it means to Bates and Stanford. DeCrescio has made every play tonight. That was going to be a hard play regardless. It took a big kick. And it's an RBI double for Nadai.
Yeah, I don't know if DeCrescio could have gotten in front of that ball. It was hit pretty hard, so you'd have to work really hard to get around it. I think the only play he had was to make that kind of sliding play. Nadai just keeps up, coming up big for Stanford. Get another look at it here for DeCrescio. He's playing on the left side, kind of in that 6-hole. The only way is if you notice it right away and you can get around it and charge it a little bit. I know it's hit hard, so it's tough to say that up here, but you can
I don't think there's really anything you can do.
No, you try to get it on the left side if you read it right away, but
now Sasaki with Nadai in scoring position. Big shift on him. Strike one at 97, down and in. The top of the order coming up in the bottom half of the 10th for NC State. How many will they need to score?
this is the most fastballs that we've seen from Duden. Slider heavy for most of the year. Being able to come back with that fastball, back-to-back 97s on the inner half. See what he feels comfortable going to here. Back foot slider.
Struck him out for the second out of the 10th.
And that's just a really good sequence, right? It's if you're seeing slider, 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 you can start to see it and realize the movement you have on it as a hitter. But right there, it's 2 fastballs on the inner half, goes back foot. You're going to swing over that 9 out of 10 times.
Stanford has scored a run against Andrew Schaffner. They've scored a run against Jacob Duden. Chance to add to it here. Everything Becerra has hit has been pretty much on the nose. Line out in the 4th, but base hit in the 6th, and sac fly in the 8th. That ball wasn't that deep, right? But no, it got the job done.
Yep. That's all that matters, right? Just get that job done. We talked about the Stanford offense repeatedly over the last 2 nights, and they just come up with a good approach. They stay within the zone. They don't really chase that much. Had a lot of good takes tonight. There's 99 on the inner half.
And that's the reality. Holding this offense to just 3 runs through 9. That's really good.
That's really good.
It wasn't enough to win it in 9 tonight. And they strike for at least 1 here in the 10th. 2-1 to Becerra. Evens the count. Into right. Fraisman makes the catch. Stanford takes its first lead in the 10th. It'll be the top of the order when we come back here in Raleigh. Jimmy Manai, he had the game-tying home run in the 6th. He has the go-ahead RBI double in the 10th. Stanford with their first lead tonight. Well, you got a postseason feel here in the final weekend of the regular season. And Aiden Keenan's been the closer for Stanford. They're going to get 3 outs here against the top of the order. It's Luke Nixon to start. Strike 1.
Just keep in mind, that is another first pitch fastball. Luke Nixon has been swinging a hot bat.
Towering fly ball into left. Ballpark will hold it, and so will Ethan Hott. When you're looking to preserve a 1-run lead, getting that first out, massive, and not having to deal with Nixon on the base paths is huge.
Yeah, it really is. And once again, it goes back to a fastball, kind of on the outer half, but been a lot of fastballs so far. You have to think NC State knows that coming in, and wants they got to get at least 1 runner on here. There's another good swing, another first pitch fastball.
Got Josh Hogue now, but this is where, remember, they are without Chris McHugh,
right,
who has hit 2 or 3 hole pretty much all year. Couple of foul balls, quickly 0-2 on Hogue. There's no stranger to late inning heroics. He hit the walk-off home run to win the series against Virginia. He struck him out. Buried the breaking ball. And now the Wolfpack down to its final out.
Yeah, for the Crescio, you're just trying to find a way on. That's exactly what you got to do right here. Any way you get on base, you pass it to the next guy in Sosa. Again, it's been fastball's first pitch. Can you time something up and take a good swing at it?
Stanford an out away from stunning NC State. Trailing by a run in the 8th. They got a run off Andrew Schaffner and a 10th inning run off Jacob Duden. 2 of the best relievers in the country.
Yeah, they're just a little bit underneath these fastballs right now. I want to be on top, drive something to a gap.
For a team that is last in the ACC in pitching this year, they have thrown a great game through 29 outs. 3 runs on just 5 hits for the Wolfpack.
Good take right there.
Dugan and O'Haron and Keenan. Strike 2.
Now you just got to battle for your life, right? 2-2. Just got to keep fouling off pitches until you can get a mistake or at least get to a 3-2 count. That was just kind of a slider that stayed up in the zone.
In the air to right, Marsh coming in. He makes the catch, and Stanford with a comeback win in Game 2.
Yeah, what a great game by Stanford. Once again, you go back and you look at Dugan just kind of chipping away and keeping their offense in this game. A big hit by Nadai again. But Stanford, what a great game, staying in it, getting those late runs, and pushing ahead of NC State tonight, 4-3.
They earned their 10th ACC win of the season. Looking to play spoiler. They have tied this series here in Raleigh. Final game of the regular season tomorrow at 1 o'clock. It'll decide the series. For NC State, it might decide a whole lot more. We'll be back right here on the ACC Network Extra. For Andrew Sensen, our great crew here in Raleigh, I'm Andrew Sanders. Good night. This has been a presentation of ESPN.